It's Julia Renee
and Kendall Aaliyah. Welcome back to the Know Your Power podcast. Hello, my loves. I just wanted to give a quick heads up and trigger warning that this episode includes talks around weight loss and a brief mention of an ED. If you're watching on YouTube, I have that part time-stamped so you can skip over it if needed. I really appreciated my brother's honesty in this episode, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I have a very exciting guest with me. We have my brother Austin, who is visiting town right now because he literally just stepped off his first bodybuilding stage, not even 48 hours ago. So I had shared on my story that he was coming into town to compete, and I got multiple DMs saying that they wanted an interview, if possible, if you had the energy, because it is super insightful hearing from a first-time competitor who is currently actually going through all the raw emotions. So we're going to be talking about his history today and just getting kind of your story, your experience with competing, especially because it's so fresh, how peak week felt, how this whole journey felt, and kind of your insight as a new bodybuilder.
Hey,
so welcome to the community.
Thank you.
It's so exciting. I feel like there's a lot I want to ask you just as your sister, because you've been in town for 5 days, and we have been on go mode, which first off,
goodness.
I just want to compliment you for how well you've held it together. Because I know peak weeks for me in general and show weekends for me, it can be a lot of emotion all at once, especially being your first show. I'm sure a lot of it felt new and you didn't know necessarily what to expect. So I want to actually debrief with you on everything leading up to this point because we haven't had a chance. So starting back, beginning of this whole journey, because as your sister, I've watched you go through many stages of fitness. You were a power lifter for a while. I've been to a powerlifting meet of yours. I've seen you just consistently in the gym for a long time, and then CrossFit phase, mountain biker phase. You've been through it all.
Phase.
So talking about this specific bodybuilding phase, take me back to around a year ago, because honestly, you've been working for this for over a year. What did it look like? What was your intro? How did all of that go?
Technically, I've been dieting on and off for 2 years, but exactly 1 year ago, I think it was mid-June of just last year when I was okay, let's actually diet down and get to a goal weight. And at the time, my goal weight was 180 pounds because I had run the numbers and I was my current weight.
What were you starting at a year ago?
Yeah, I believe 1 year ago, I was 230 pounds.
Okay.
But actually, funny enough, when I first started my goal, I was I don't care about muscle anymore. I just want to lose weight.
Did you want to go on this journey for any specific reason, or it was just a challenge, something new, something to commit to?
Yeah, I didn't have a specific goal at that time besides that I knew I wanted to lose weight and get fit. And then my wife also wanted to lose weight and get fit. So we kind of both were starting together. So there was nothing specific kind of that drove it at first. But I would say my goals changed multiple times throughout the journey to then
I feel like that happens.
Yeah.
I'm also curious because, again, watching you go through different phases of stages over the last several years of adulthood, what was different this time? Because I know both of us have committed to cuts in the past and then maybe give up or stop going as hard or become complacent in the results we see and just kind of maintain there. What made you really, really commit to the point of even stepping on stage this year? What felt different or changed this year?
I feel knowledge of calories, knowledge of macros, and just my overall health. So I use different goals over the course of the year to get to each stage of 230 to 200, from 200 to 180 and lower. So each one of those kept changing, but overall my knowledge is in general of oh my God, this is how I was eating or how much I was eating. And calorie counting is what I feel could keep me on track. It really, I think prior to this, I'd never in my life like calorie counted or macro tracked. So I think just having that number, and then I had a notepad every day, and this is from day one. That's like, I had to be within this calorie count. And I think regardless of what my goal was or phase, I would still be like, oh, I have to stay within this range.
Yeah. Do you think having a range helped you instead of being like, if I eat over this, that's bad, like having just like a set number?
Yeah.
So it started
at first, it
there.
wasn't even macros. It
Yeah.
was literally just calories.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I watched other YouTube videos and stuff. It's like, oh, calories in, calories out. So I was just like, okay, like this is my calories. So actually, initially with food, when I first started the diet, whatever I wanted to eat, it did not matter.
As long as it fit your calories. That's kind of like the if it fits your macros approach, which I think is such a good approach, especially for like newer to the gym people or newer competitors, because it makes it a little less scary. I think it makes it more like, oh, I don't have to like uproot absolutely everything I'm doing. I can just modify it, because I know like Julia and I both have a lot of clients who do enjoy eating out or going out and having some sort of like semblance of balance. And it doesn't always have to be like structured meal plan, structured macros. It can sometimes be like, how do I fit this lifestyle into a healthier fitness lifestyle, if that makes sense. So talking about knowledge too, like I feel like we also have a lot of people who write in, and I'm always grateful for it, that we can be like a little bit educational sometimes here on this podcast, where some people genuinely don't know how much they're eating until you start tracking.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, because people cook with like oils and butters and like fried food. Like those are such high added calories that sometimes you don't even know until you go into like a serious cutting phase and have to do the math on it. Talking about like the early stages, struggles, wins, things looking back that you were like, I thought that was hard. That was the easy times. Like take me through what the beginning felt like and how you transitioned into being like, okay, I kind of want to step on stage. I kind of want to take it to that level.
I have some notes, so if I look down.
No, you're good.
But
they're used to us staring at our phones, trust.
So, well, I can speak to this for first. When I first started, I'm not kidding, I was high off of losing weight. Like I distinctively remember multiple times just like feeling so good inside. And this probably was when I hit like 190, 180s. Like I couldn't explain it besides like pure happiness and joy. Like I was in a good mood.
Well, do you think it was just like being proud of yourself?
No, I think I was just
healthier.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was trippy.
Okay.
But like I felt like just high on life in general, and so that made it so much easier to keep losing weight. And like at first, right? So anytime I wanted to eat out or whatever, like this is probably where some unhealthy things would come into play. A lot of times would be like, oh, we're gonna go, have wings tonight. I wouldn't eat the whole day until the wings. If I calculated, oh, I can have this many wings, that's my daily limit of calories. I purposely wouldn't eat all day just to have those wings, and then back to like, normal.
Which is something I think a lot of people think is right or is healthy. So I'm glad you're like recognizing now, like, oh, that was an unhealthy tendency I was doing, because on that same path, we get so many questions, or at least I do, where it's like, and this is something I used to do, which is why I'm like, I recognize it in you or maybe other people, where it's like when you do eat out the next day feeling that need to overcompensate or do something like more aggressive or withhold food from yourself almost as like a punishment. And we preach so much the fact of like just getting back on track. Anyway, sorry, I'll let you go back to what you were saying.
To fast forward though, pretty much like my phases went dieting to body high. And then I definitely hit a point where my initial goal was just to lose weight, get as skinny as possible. That 100% changed. And then I was like, okay, like I'm leaner now. I'm like 185 pounds. I'm looking kind of good. I still have a lot of muscle. And I was like, oh, like I actually want to keep my muscle now. So and that's when I started focusing on macros and being like, okay, forget the whole calories thing. Let's bring macros into this. And then I think around that time is when I started my eating disorder. And that was when I was texting you that I was eating what, like 1,300 to 1,500 calories a day.
And I want the record to show that I was yelling at him to please stop doing that every time.
That phase actually lasted a little bit, and I think it was piled on by things I was consuming in my life at that time. But
can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I think I was at this thinner phase, and I was seeing other people and kind of not getting body dysmorphia, but I was like, I want to do whatever it takes sort of thing.
Was it like comparison of like, I want to look like that person and I bet they do this, or I need to do this to get that result?
So for me, it was like still learning about just calories in, calories out still. And I was trying to be like, okay, what's the calories I would need to eat to lose 2 pounds a week without doing any exercise? Because at that time I was doing no cardio, just gym sessions. And I think I calculated it to be like 1,500 calories.
Yeah.
And that's your, whatever, like based on the TDE.
Yeah.
Not
any sort of movement. That's like if you're
movement.
laying on a couch not doing anything, how much you likely burn. Okay.
And I think it was just fueled by, correct, like people I wanted to look like and stuff, and comparing to other people. So I kind of got on a trip of that where at the time it didn't feel like I was eating that little. Looking back now, like I can't even imagine.
It's probably also like you were in a deficit for so long where sometimes it comes to that point where like in reality, maybe you should have taken a break. And instead our brains tell ourselves like, I need to push harder. My body's not responding the same to the calories I've been eating, because that happens. Like macro adaptation happens. Our bodies get used to the food we give it. So like having to dig lower, which I'm glad you're talking about, because we have been open about like, I mean, they know why I haven't competed in 4 years, you know, like I didn't have a good relationship with food, not because of bodybuilding, but because of my relationship with myself after my show. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of men and male bodybuilders aren't super open about it yet, but I feel like it happens so often.
Funny enough, it was fueled by girls. I would see
female competitors,
and that actually made it worse for me, because I was like, if this girl only has to eat this amount, like why can't I do that? Sort of thing. Whereas like the male bodybuilders do eat a lot more. I mentally used that as like, if they can do it, I can do it. It wasn't until you were harping on me to start eating more.
And please tell the class, what happened when you started eating more?
My weight was stalling. I was eating disorder, having 1,400 calories a day. Kendall told me to start eating more. I start eating more calories. My weight just flies off.
Like literally, I think you raised it by 500 calories a day, or even more. I
raised it by like 300 and then more. Yeah. And I raised it again. Yep. And I was still losing weight every time I raised it. And I was like,
because that was your body thanking you for fueling it, you know? And then that at that point or around that point is when I think you made the decision of like, okay, maybe bodybuilding doesn't have to look this certain way, which I think is what I'm going through this year too. Because like returning to competing was honestly really scary for me because of my past like bad relationships with food. And so going into it this year, I feel so mentally different, because I'm like, oh, it doesn't have to be disordered. It doesn't have to be obsessive. I can be a bodybuilder and, you know, like you can be a bodybuilder and a husband and a dad and a brother and like, and show up in work, show up in life. Like you still go out to eat with your wife, even if you can't eat the meals at the table with her. And I feel like that's really important to recognize that balance, because I know my first show ever, I was obsessed to like the 100th degree. Like ate, slept, and breathed bodybuilding, which I think is important because that's how you learn a lot. And that's how you kind of like, he's snoring so loud. That's how you learn. And that's like, honestly, like that motivation in the beginning. But I feel like recognizing, oh, I can eat more and have a decent relationship with food and still get the results I want is really vital. So I'm glad you got through that and over that, and also feel comfortable sharing that, because that's so important to hear for other first-time competitors, believe me. After that, like how long after and into eating more, feeling a little good again, seeing results again, were you like, I kind of want to step on stage, and why did you want to take it there?
That I hit a stall point in weight, and that was at 180 pounds. And that stall wasn't through like a lack of effort. It was more so around November, December, family vacation time. And it was after that, I was like, okay, I need a goal to get to this last leg, because I was still at 180, and it was always like my dream to get striated shoulders. And so I was like, my initial goal, even from a year ago, was like, I want to have shoulder striations. Like that was just the goal. And so I was like, okay, so what's something that can get me there to that final stage? And then that's when I was like, I think a bodybuilding show would do that, like having an actual show date. Looking back now, I think it might have been better to actually push out my date.
And prep longer?
I didn't realize how much weight I had to lose. Because I was at 180 thinking like, because I thought 180 would be my goal.
Yeah, which you said at the beginning it was, so.
Yeah. But then I was like, oh, I'm still not, like bodybuilder lean, which is what I wanted to get to. And then, so I was like, okay, so maybe it's 170. And then, so that's when I actually started doing cardio every single day in the gym, 6 days a week, no breaks, like, let's get it done. And then that's about the time when I got my coach, Coach Dallas, who's a Olympian competitor in Colorado. Who,
by the way, I've seen like little interactions of you guys. He's not here physically, but he was FaceTiming and calling you throughout your weekend here. And I really appreciate like how attentive he is, especially for your first show ever. Cause I feel like I can obviously give tips, but like I haven't competed in 4 years, and also I'm a girl. So like our experience show day morning is going to look extremely different. I was like, he didn't have to wake up for hair and makeup, and I'm super jealous about that. But those little differences of like, I couldn't tell you what to do to prep your skin for your tan. Like I don't have body hair like a man has body hair, like just little things like that I'm like, I'm so glad you found someone at least like comfortable enough who could talk to you through this journey and check in on you, besides like outside of me, because I can do what I can. How long was your official prep from like starting with him, or when you decided to find a show, to actually stepping on stage?
That had to have been like late January. So I'd say definitely February. So February to now.
5 months?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 months of being like, I want to do a bodybuilding show.
Yeah, and at first I was like, I don't need a coach. Like, I'm just going to use the internet. And then
you and me both.
And I'm so glad, like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I feel like a coach is so 100% necessary, especially your first show. I get it for, like, the next one, if maybe you don't want to, but still having someone there to check in on your health, like you, and to make sure like your diet's locked in. I still feel like you need one for every show.
I completely agree, because I think the same thing. I went into this show and I wasn't ever going to coach myself my entire prep, but I wanted to start by myself.
Yeah,
and I think like it has felt so relieving since hiring my coach a few weeks ago of like, oh, this is in someone else's hand and I get to just follow a plan where like, I'm sure for you, because you were doing so much of like, again, like gaining knowledge, research, all of those things on your own, to finally like have someone to give you direction, I'm sure was a little relieving.
Yes.
Talking about now like prep itself, and we'll talk about like peak week and show day specifically, but overall just like standouts from this journey, what going into it do you wish you knew before? Do you wish you could tell yourself back in January and February when you were thinking about it, like some stuff maybe you weren't ready for, some things that completely changed? Like you talk about goals changing throughout the journey. What did that look like?
Daily emotional swings were something I wasn't expecting. Like literally one day happy, the next day like full, I hate my body, I hate, this and that, like I'm starving, I'm angry, I'm tired, and just every single day would swing. And it's just crazy because like mentally I kept switching, I don't know if you remember, to like, oh, I'm doing this like goal for me, and then I changed it to like, oh, I want to win. Now I want to win the show. And then I would like look in the mirror and be like, not gonna win. I'm back to doing it for me. And it's just the crazy swings. And just realizing when you're on that downswing, the upswing's coming right after that.
Yeah. Which I think I'm like, hopefully you now understand all the times I came to your house in prep and was just so angry or like struggling with body dysmorphia, because that's so real. And like bodybuilding can really be glamorized, and obviously we still love it and do it for a reason, and it's part of our life and brand for a reason. But I like the honesty around like not every day is pretty at all. Like as
100%.
much great days and like wins and highs you have are also met with like struggling with how you're looking and feeling and keeping up with the people around you. Like we always say, it is a very selfish sport. It's hard to show up for other people the same way. And again, like you are a father, so I can't imagine, and a father to a newborn, might I add, that has come throughout this prep for you, which is crazy. So not only are you focused on like family and work and bodybuilding, but then like having a newborn come in, and obviously like your wife being pregnant, I'm sure like just added a whole new dynamic, right? So I know showing up can be really hard, and especially I remember around that 1.5 week out mark, I was like, just get through this week. Because that week, in my opinion, and I think this is why I really wanted to have you on the podcast, is to talk to other first-time competitors, or even competitors who like every prep looks different for them. I always say 2 weeks out is the hardest, because you're far enough away where it's like, what am I doing this for? Because like you're really trying to deplete your physique as much as possible at that point so that you can properly peak during peak week. What was the shift like when it became like, oh, we're about to step on stage and now I'm excited?
It wasn't until I was like a half a week out to where that came in for me. Only because on peak week, my first like four days of peak week, or like leading into it, was all low calories days. So my coach splits it to low, medium, high. And it was just like low, 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 low. And so those days were the hardest from a food standpoint. And I had like a half a week left. I was like, all right, let's, easy.
Once you got some carbs back in your system, you're like, oh, everything's fine. What did you not expect about like these last 2 weeks? Did you think you were just going to like coast in how you had been throughout your prep? Did you anticipating it getting really hard? And was it as challenging as you like made it up to be?
So the hardest thing for me was I kept 100,000% thinking I was not ready. I would not be ready in time, and I would embarrass myself on the stage. And can't count the number of times where I texted either you or my coach or Mari just saying like, I don't think I'll be ready in time. And my coach brought very good reassurance every time. Like I was saying I wasn't ready, he's saying you look right on track.
And then talking about like actual peak week and going into show weekend, like what was that like? Were you nervous at all? Were you excited at all? I swear we have spent 5 days together. You've been in this house like your entire second half of peak week, and you've been the most normal person I've ever met. When I'm a few days out, I'm not talking to anyone. My ass is laying on the couch. I'm taking naps all day. You've been still like doing stuff with the family. Your energy has felt really good, but deeper than that, like actually what were you thinking about? What were you nervous about? What were you excited about?
So leading up, it was just, I was mentally just thinking about the flight here. I wasn't even thinking about the show. So once I got here.
We both have flight anxiety, so it makes sense.
But like the main thing that I hated was the coach wanted me to relax, and there's no relaxing.
There's no Have you met our family? There's no relaxing.
Even if you cut out that, like even with just show stuff, I felt like there's no it's like, okay, here's the day before the show, like, oh, just relax. Oh, like you gotta go get your tan, you gotta make this appointment,
like final posing practice,
workout, posing. And so I'm like, where's the relaxing? So I felt like I tried my best to relax in these little hour-long pockets in between, but that was not there. So I was getting worried about that. But once I got the tan, that's when I was like, all right, let's get it.
Was like tanning and athletes check-in the night before what you expected? Because you've never gone through that. Like that's the side of shows you've never seen. So what was different? What would you want to tell your past self of like, hey, here's what to expect?
Don't be embarrassed being around a lot of other people.
Other naked humans.
Other naked humans.
Makes sense.
But no, actually, when I got the tan, I was actually getting choked up.
You texted me this, and I thought it was adorable.
I feel like that's when she was like spraying the tan on me, I was like, this is it. Like,
it was like you made it.
Work to this point here, like the hard work was done. Tomorrow's the victory lap. Yeah. And that's why on show day, I really was not nervous. I was, and
I know I said this an annoying amount of times, so impressed on how you handled show day, because nerves can sometimes like come out of nowhere. I know I never feel nervous until I'm about to step on stage. I was literally pooping my pants the entire day for you. I was just like so excited and so proud of you, but also so nervous. Not that you were doing, I was confident in you and your capabilities and your physique and all the things. I was just like putting myself in your shoes and nervous that you were going to get nervous. And I'm like so impressed by how you handle. You were like the most confident version of you I've ever seen, which I think is a testament to all the positive. Like obviously having hardships in prep is super normal, but all the positives really come to like a pinnacle point on show day, and you get to just be proud and be confident and be like, yeah, I worked hard. I was definitely hyped
up though, because like backstage, like coach wanted me to just lay down, like put my feet up. I definitely wasn't doing that. I was definitely standing a lot and like on my knees, and every single wall was taken. Like everyone had their arms up, So I was, and then I find it really uncomfortable just sitting on the floor. So I was just like, I'll just stand, whatever. And then like a few times I laid down like with my backpack as like a pillow, but it wasn't like I was like shaking to get up or super nervous. I was just like, all right, like I'm excited to be here.
You're just like, ready to go.
Ready to go.
And then come time to step on stage, and your show was ran like a well-oiled machine. I was so impressed. For reference, he did the Republic of Texas this year, and that is, first off, a huge Texas show, huge show in general, one of the biggest show. NPC and pro shows like of the year. So huge congratulations to even stepping on that stage, because there's a lot of competitors that show up for that show, and they were running it really fast. Did it move as quickly as it did to maybe the spectators, or was everything in slow motion for you? Like what did actually stepping on stage feel like?
Morning stepping on stage was slow, and backstage was slow, but they 100% rushed us for awards. And they said that they were trying to rush us in before the pros came out. So later was rushed, but like for our actual routines and stuff, I could tell the other guys felt rushed, and they were shaky and doing the routine super quick. Yeah. But my coach told me it doesn't matter what they say, how much they're rushing you. When it's your turn to do your routine, you take your sweet time.
Oh, always.
You have all that time. And so that's kind of what I did. Looking back at the video, I did actually feel like I did it a touch too fast still, but I was definitely a lot more smoother, more relaxed.
And then I think I asked you this already, just because I black out every time I'm on stage. Did you feel present? Were you fully connecting with the judges, with the moment, taking it all in, or do you... My cat just knocked something off my fridge. We're just gonna let him have it. If he continues wreaking havoc, I'll go get him. Anyway, were you present, or do you feel like you blacked out a little bit?
I think I was present, but I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see the crowd. The only thing I could see was the judges and the bright lights. And I feel like that actually made it easier for me, because I
it's
don't
like just
big
you and
crowds.
5 people, really.
Yeah. So I looked at the head judge definitely the majority of the time, every time I was up there.
Good.
Because I made sure he was like my center focal point no matter where I was on stage.
Could you hear us? I was screaming my heart out for you.
I think I heard my name a few times.
Okay.
But
It was me.
that part was probably blacked out.
I was very loud. I feel like noises too, and like the announcer is really loud. It's hard to focus. Looking back, is there anything, again, you wish you knew or could prepare yourself for? And we'll talk about like your continuation in the sport, but anything you're taking with you maybe into the next show of what you now expect or know what to do?
I would take even more time on my individual posing. I feel like the knowledge I've gained of what happens backstage is invaluable, where it's just like now I know the sequence of events, when like what getting glazed is.
Yep.
I had to go up to, or I think I asked my coach, I was like, what's getting glazed? Like, cause this, and then, so it's like, now I know it's like, okay, it's in this order. When they call men's classic physique to get glazed, that's when I can start carving up. That's when I can start doing this, because I know I have about this amount of time.
And every show is going to look a little different, but it is usually like whoever's going before you, you start getting ready because that's you next.
So many people were pumping up in my division, like while we were just chilling, doing nothing. And like my coach just said, you do not start pumping until after you get glazed. And that's what I realized. Like, so all these people are already tired and losing their pump, and I'm pumping post, that
you're
portion.
peaking properly, because even down to like the second, it's
and
important.
there's so much time after that too.
And then you mentioned, when I was moving my cat away from our camera, the little food changes in this prep and even in peak week, where I gave this man the worst steak ever cooked in human existence. He was like, hey, I'm getting my tan. If you could like go buy and prep steak for me, that's my meal tonight. And I was like, of course. I bought the cheapest cut of steak and then I overcooked it. So I really double whammied you on like the worst steak ever. And you acted like it tasted like heaven, which I appreciate.
I swear it did.
But those food changes that you didn't see coming, where maybe something you've never eaten before is now your favorite meal of your day, kind of talk on that.
Raw cucumber and LaCroix.
I'm the same way, by the way.
Two staples that might actually stay staples now. But like I remember I think I was watching like Will Tennyson. He was doing like a prep thing, and he's drinking these like, the scented waters.
Yeah.
So there's no added ingredient, it's just water, and it's carbonated. And so I tried them, and this was like earlier in prep. And I was like, this is so disgusting. I'm never doing this. And I was eating like so much artificial sweetener at that time. But then it hit a point where it's like, okay, you got to cut out the artificial sweetener. And then I'm like getting tired of just water. And that's where I was like, these LaCroix are starting to taste good. And I love them now. Like,
I feel that. Anything else from show day that's like a big takeaway from you, or things you're bringing into the next journey? Or you can talk about if you enjoyed it and if you're doing it again. I guess let's go into that.
I did really enjoy it. And I think I enjoyed the concept of the journey of it as well.
Which is so important.
Yeah.
You can't just enjoy show day. It's too much sacrificing just for one day.
So for context, my wife wanted me to do another show because she couldn't be here for this one. So I'm considering about, going back to Colorado and doing a second show in August. And, right now mentally I'm like, sure, let's do it. And it's a smaller, more local show.
Yeah.
So I actually
It's not a giant Texas show.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the process. I liked it. I think what scares me right now is I don't have as much size as I would like. And the concept of like, oh, I want to be like this big and step on stage is like, oh, that's like 3 years away. Like 3 years of me dedicating to build up that size and then leaning out. So I think I want to just stay happy competing at this size and then try to stay lean while slowly building up muscle.
I feel like that's going to be its own really exciting journey too, because now you're getting to almost do a proper off season, proper quote unquote
my
bulk.
first ever, I would consider real off season.
Yeah, which would be so exciting.
Yeah, I feel like I covered most of it. Really just trusting the process, trusting yourself. You're gonna look crazy when you pull the water. And the salt.
I agree of all of those thoughts of I'm not going to be ready. Why doubt yourself?
Yeah.
Like, trust that the work you're doing is not for nothing. The question we ask every guest we ever have on this podcast is, when was the moment you realized how powerful you truly are? Think on it. Take your time.
That's when I got tanned.
Really?
I was crying in front of a girl tanning me.
Love that for you.
I was like...
But what made you realize that? Just how far you've come, the moment? Was that the first time you were in body?
Yeah, the amount of work and everything. Yeah, I was like, we did it.
Aw. See, I feel like for most people that would be like stepping on stage, but for you it happened kind of the night before. Did you feel like that changed how you felt on show day because now you were walking in with some pride?
I would say so. Yeah, the show day was a victory lap. At that point.
Good.
Well, only because, I was like, this, gold medal, like, we're done. And
I feel like that's so
excited
important.
just to, like, see and hang out with you guys after the show, too. That was like, I was kind of like, all right, let's get this over with. But,
okay, everyone can see my amazing physique now. I want to go hang out with my brothers and sisters.
Because I was in 3 separate divisions. After the first 2, I was like, I don't have to step on for the third one.
Yes, you do.
I could just no-show, but then I was like, okay.
There was someone who no-showed, by the way, for finals, and I was like, dang. Anyway, I don't want to wrap it up. We could talk for literally hours. I have so many questions, but it is very late at night. You are still post-show, and I'm sure your brain...
5 in the morning.
Yep, okay, in 5 hours. So we're going to leave it here. Any questions that you guys have, potentially we could do another one in the future. Leave them down below and show him some praise and congratulations because I am so freaking proud of you and all the work you've put in. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was so fun being stage mom for the weekend.
I'm also glad Julia came out. That was nice of her.
Yeah, Julia came to the show. I thought it was so sweet. And we're going to be debriefing kind of our perspective on our next episode together, at least a little bit. We'll touch on it, but it was so nice having you actually here and talking about like the true honest facts of how this prep has gone for you. So thank you for being here and I love you. And thank you guys for watching. And as always, you are more powerful than you think. Bye.
Bye.